All right, sixth man of the year. I had to think about this one a little bit because there's a lot of good candidates. Somebody like Emmanuel Quickly
Yes.
came to mind pretty early on. A guy who maybe could have won it last year because he just really exploded. Maybe going to fill a similar role for the Knicks. He's just a beast, and honestly, I could see him winning it. I think he's number one on betting odds right now. And, there's people like, Norman Powell, who had a pretty good preseason with the Clippers, who could really easily fill that as well. There's somebody maybe like Brogdon even, who maybe he's going to be coming off the bench. We don't really know his position. Somebody like Chris Paul. And what it really came down to for me, I had somebody who it was tough for me to pick, but I really feel like this guy is going to have an incredible stride. I think that this is a very hot take, but I just feel like this player is very good and that he's going to show it this year coming off the bench. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, I have Naz Reid. Now,
okay.
This is a really hot take. I don't know for sure if Naz Reid is going to pull out something like this, but I just want to make clear how good this guy is. I mean, I would have loved to have picked him up for my NBA team, but, I don't have that, but the Timberwolves do. And I feel like the Timberwolves, they needed a season to mesh. And I think that's all it's really going to take is like, you need a season, get a little bit better with Gobert. They're going to click, and Anthony Edwards is going to pop off. We know Anthony Edwards is a beast. We saw him in the USA, FIBA, just really being the go-to guy. So I could easily see this guy or at least the team making the playoffs. And with that, I think Naz Reid is going to, come out the gates. And he had a really good showing last year, but a little bit unrecognized. I think this year is going to be a little bit different. He's just going to explode even more, especially with the Timberwolves. I think they're going to do really well this season, and Gobert's going to mesh well. And so I just think that the fact that he's going to be on such a good team and coming off the bench, having the ball facilitated by Conley, who's a general, as well as doing his own stuff. He can do a lot of different things. He's just a beast. And so I could really see that. I could see Naz Reid winning it. I could see a few others, but I really hope Naz Reid wins it because he needs some more recognition. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I think that he's worth the money he got paid. I absolutely think that. Even though it puts the Timberwolves in like a really crappy position in terms of the second apron, I would have paid Naz Reid that. Like he's worth that kind of money. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't know. Ooh, I like that. I really do. I can see this crazy world where the Timberwolves start trying a bunch of crazy, like different things to make things work because they know that inevitably if they don't get something to work, they got to trade Cat. But they could get a decent haul for him. I could see them trying to bring Rudy Gobert off the bench. Personally, I would try everything before trying to trade one of those guys. You're not going to trade Rudy Gobert. We know that. But Karl Anthony Towns, you could. But Naz Reid as a backup center, like he has to be the best backup center in the league, right? Like
and he can play the 4 too. So if they end up trading Cat, he could be moved.
That's what I'm saying. Like who is better than he is at backup center? Guys, our listeners and watchers, comment who is better at backup center than Naz Reid? Because when I look at it, I don't really know if anyone is. I know it's not JaVale McGee. He's serviceable. Like I just don't know a better backup center. Do you know what I mean? Like I could see him making a huge splash. It's fun to watch, man. It's really fun to watch. I love guys like that. All right, let's go into 6-man.
Yeah, who do you got?
Malik Monk. For sure. So I've been high on the Kings for so long. I love the moves they made. I have to be very honest and transparent when saying when the initial Sabonis for Halliburton trade happened, I was I couldn't believe it. I was like, I just looked at the Kings and I was like, another idiotic move by a very bad front office. I was very harsh because the Kings had just not done anything for years. And then it all worked and clicked. Sabonis seemed to be the missing piece. They were able to draft Chris Murray, who I just love. He's an incredible power forward. Or Keegan, sorry. Keegan Murray. Chris Murray is his twin. And by the way, Chris Murray is going to be a lot of fun to watch in Portland. But Keegan had a wonderful rookie year. He understood his role. This team gelled. And another piece of that was Malik Monk. Malik Monk really didn't have the best regular season. He really didn't. But when when they played Golden State, he stepped up in an incredible fashion. I think he went from averaging 13 points to 20 points during the postseason. Watching Malik Monk do that, I believe he established himself as the sixth man for this young gunning team. I am a huge Kings fan. I'm riding that bandwagon. I love what they're doing. We're lighting the beam. I think Malik Monk is coming out this year, and he's going to establish himself as like not just a real legit sixth man, but the sixth man of the league. What do you think, JD?
Well, I like that pick. I got a chance to see him pick apart the Warriors a little bit when he was in the postseason, so I could definitely see him just taking another step with the Kings this season. And even in the preseason, I got a chance to watch him a little bit, and he seems like a very good pick and roll guard. He seems to create space. He's just very good. In fact,
smart,
you put him on another team, he'd be starting and doing very well too.
Yes.
So it's interesting that his role is in the sixth man, and he can really pick apart those B teams.
Well, he's great at that role, though. Like, he is, and I think that's what makes a good sixth man too. Look at Jordan Clarkson. He was sixth man for the Jazz, right? Sixth man of the year. So then the year that he starts, when we tear down the whole team, he goes out and he averages 20 points. That's what you want your sixth man to be able to do. Malcolm Brogdon, when he went to Boston, right? The year before that, he averaged 19 and 7 as the main guy for the Pacers. You want your sixth man to be a starter. And I agree, man. I think that's what they have in Malik Monk.
Like, definitely have to have that starting caliber level. Well, Doc, do you want to blast through MIP for 2024?
Yes, we totally can. Okay. But I need your pick though for sixth man.
I told you. It was who did I just say? It was Naz Reid for sixth man.
Oh my gosh, man. Sorry. You're right. You're keeping us on track. All right, I got two different picks for this one because I believe both these guys are going to come out the gate and just be incredible. The first one is Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin, now that he's going to be starting, especially in a system that benefits him, he's going to have a massive jump. I could see him going from whatever pathetic numbers he was getting in New York behind what's the dude's name?
He
power forward,
all NBA guy this year. Shoot,
why am I forgetting his name?
I'll find it. You just keep going.
So, I think he averaged like 8 points or something like that. Really, nothing substantial.
Julius Randle, by the way.
Thank you, Knicks fans. I am so sorry. Unless you guys hate Julius Randle, then I'm not sorry. But we know what he's capable of. We're huge fans of Obi Toppin. We know that he's super athletic. He is great at this right here, just getting those fast transition buckets. He knows how to run the floor. He has incredible hops. He doesn't have bad shot selection as well. Like, look at this right here. That's a great shot, honestly. He is now going to a system with the Pacers under Tyrese Halliburton that is going to benefit him greatly. I could see him honestly being a 17 and 10 kind of guy. And when you make a jump from 8 points to 17 points, which is even 15 points, I think he's going to be in the running. I just believe in Obi Toppin. JD, I know you do too. I love Obi Toppin. So my other pick is also, so these are the two guys I really think can make it. I believe that Tyrese Maxey this year is going to be given a wonderful opportunity for ball facilitation and movement. So now, look, with all the drama happening with James Harden, like, let's be real. The Philadelphia 76ers do not need him. They don't. And neither do the Clippers. And that could be, I can get into that some other time. But Tyrese Maxey is definitely the point guard of the future for this team. And they got to be smart and they got to pay him. They already made a huge mistake by not giving this guy an extension. Like, he becomes a restricted free agent next year. And I'm sorry, like, if you're Daryl Morey and you think no one's going to give this kid $40 million to come to their team, you're an idiot. Like, I don't know what that guy's doing. But look, they should have extended this kid. In his last preseason game, he had like 18 and 12. Okay, like, those are incredible numbers. And when he needs to score, he does. He knows how to score. He's a fantastic scorer. Like, he knows how to pick his shots. He's athletic. He's a great just energy. Like, he's an energizer bunny, essentially, like, on defense too. Tyrese Maxey, now that Harden is gone, I could see his assists going from like 3 to like 7 because he's going to be the one handling the ball. And he's probably going to get you 24 points. So look, you go from 20 and 3 to 24 and 7. That's a significant jump. Assists are important. It's ball facilitation. Those are my two picks, though, for MIP. What do you think?
Well, Tyrese Maxey is an incredible one. In fact, I think he's probably going to win MIP. I think that what the Sixers want to do with him, especially with Harden, is that they're going to try and put Maxey in a more, larger role. Yeah. Maybe he can facilitate more. And the thing is, Doc,
no one else
quote here. This is from Joel Embiid making a bold proclamation about Tyrese Maxey and maybe his ceiling. But Embiid says if he wants to lead the league in assists, he can. But
there we go.
That's just something that his the former MVP was saying, or the MVP right now, basically.
That's a big deal too.
It totally is. And Maxey, he is a good facilitator outright, and he's a good shooter. He's really a good player. And the thing is he's likely to win. I think what they have him on the betting is he's number 2, just below Mikal Bridges. But,
Mikal Bridges.
I know. It's interesting because Bridges had a great end to his season. He averaged like a high point, and so I don't think that he's really going to be a most improved player like Maxey will be.
No way, man. His year was last year.
Mm-hmm.
He went from Phoenix to the Nets. He's not, even if he makes it, what's he going to do? Let's say he improves. He makes a 3-point jump. He goes from 25 to 28. That's still a big jump for a guy who's number 1 option.
I think the logic,
that award though.
The logic there, Doc, and maybe this logic is flawed, is that it was towards the back half of the season that Mikal Bridges really turned into something special. Like, he always was that special player, but getting the role with the Brooklyn Nets, he exploded, and that end to his season, he was averaging something like 26 a game, which he didn't end up averaging over the entire regular season. So maybe the logic there is this upcoming season, he's going to average 26, 27 again, and that's going to be a jump for what he was averaging this past season. However,
that's a fair argument.
I agree with it, though. I think that it's not really going to be that incredible player like I saw in the betting odds that SGA is on there. It's like, are you kidding me?
Well, he's going to get better.
I know. Kind of goofy. But just
how? He's insane
I don't know.
Right now.
Quickly, I wanted to glance over somebody who I think is going to be improving steadily each year, and that is Franz Wagner. I think that this guy is something special. I could also see him winning it. He's a guy who he brings it every day, but I think that what's going to happen this year is Orlando's going to get even better. I think Paolo is just getting more comfortable. The players are getting more comfortable. Like, they are a young team, but the thing with Franz is I just think that he's coming into his own. Like, I think that he's going to be even more special this year. He had a great FIBA run. He's basically one of the best players. But I think this past season, he was averaging something like 18, 19 a game. I think this upcoming season, he could average something like 25. And I don't think that that's that crazy. I think Franz is just that special of a player, and he can do crazy stuff like that. Although I do think Maxey and Toppin are going to have great seasons like you're predicting as well. I think we can't exclude the fact that Franz is just going to explode, and maybe Orlando's going to make the playoffs this year. What do you think, Doc?
I don't think Orlando is making the playoffs.
You don't? I think they could make, at the very least, the play-in. We don't give them enough credit because I think that towards the latter half of the season, they started winning a lot more. Like, they were terrible at the beginning of the season, and then as they started ending the season, they started finishing very positive. So I could see it. It might be a bold prediction, but remember I said it.
I will. I mean, I might just be hating too, you know. I just think there's so many good teams in the East. It's going to be difficult. But I do think Franz Wagner is a beast, though. Dude, he's fun to watch. And it's funny because Golden State passed up on him, right?
I think they picked
Kuminga at 7 or something like that. Look at me getting myself into trouble already. I don't think Wagner was 15.
Let's see. Wagner was pick 8.
By who? The Magic?
By the Magic. 2021 draft.
Okay, who was 7?
I'll have to look it up. Let me see.
Was it Kuminga?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, there we go. See? So Golden State passed up on that guy. Huge. We'll see if it's a huge mistake. Kuminga.
Yeah, I think Kuminga is going to look good this year too.
I just want them to give that kid a chance, man.
I think he's going to get it. Yeah,
like, I understand the pressure on Steve Kerr, you know, especially with having the team you have and with the legacy they've created. But you have to find a way to transition. Everyone's getting older, and the only one who's aging gracefully is Steph Curry. Like Kuminga, Moses Moody. I mean,
Moody's overrated.
Gone.
Moody's overrated, but I think Kuminga could have yes,
Moses
he is.
Moody? No, it's not.
Don't be silly. Moody is the only reason Moody is recognized at all is because he's on the Warriors. No other reason. He is the most generic.
He's a very consistent player for coming off the bench. He is. Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga. Those are good young players. They just got to get time. They have to get the time.
I was skeptical about Kuminga. I was skeptical about him last year, but I think he's going to have a really good year this year. And what's crazy is he could be MIP this season. We'll have to wait and see
about that.
With Chris Paul, I mean, Chris Paul's going to be dishing the assists. Come on.
Jonathan Kuminga comes out the gate. He's getting like 22 and 6 rebounds. Yeah, he would run away with that award. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's expecting that. I'm not. That'd be crazy. All right, guys. So we only got through one topic, but we hope you enjoyed what you were listening to. We will make sure we post more regular content, especially now that the NBA season is starting. Guys, much love, and thank you again. We want to thank you guys every podcast. We don't grow without you guys. The channel doesn't happen without our listeners and our viewers. And we get so much positive feedback from you guys. We love it. And we love the negative feedback too. You want to know why? Because we know you guys are passionate, just like we are. And that's what makes the podcast. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We're your host, Dr. J and JD. We'll catch you all next time.
Thank you for watching another episode of the Full Court Press NBA podcast. For the full podcast, click the link below and subscribe for more hoops content.